At the start of the situation, Matt Rue found himself facing even more difficulties than he had previously. This predicament intensified after Brooke and Tana revealed damning information about him during their recent podcast episode. The revelations have significantly worsened his circumstances, leaving him in a rather precarious position. The details they brought to light are undeniably troublesome, and it's unclear how Matt Rue can salvage his reputation at this point. His options seem limited, and navigating this tricky situation will undoubtedly be a challenging task for him. In a recently canceled podcast episode, Brooke disclosed her unwavering support for Matt R., despite public accusations about his treatment of women.
I was on here I love Matt. He respects women.
Which is crazy.
I was because I really I feel that I have always felt that way about him. I really felt like he respected me, like I did, and women in general.
She revealed their romantic involvement earlier in the year, referring to him as the DC guy, due to their shared time in Washington. DC Brooke believed Matt's public persona on podcasts was a stage presence and not reflective of his authentic self, emphasizing his kindness towards her. Tana countered, claiming Matt frequently lied to her and entered a new relationship soon after claiming a lack of time for commitments. Brooke's defense of Matt was rooted in her personal experiences, adding complexity to the narrative. Brooke's perspective on Matt shifted dramatically after learning he had simultaneously been involved with multiple girls, including her, at the start of the year.
I'm her, and I'm like, hey, just wondering, honestly, what was the timeline exactly? Just because, I'm curious. Because, his current girlfriend was not long after me either, so I'm like, it had to have been around the same time. Immediately, she puts me into a group chat. You never want to be in a group chat with beautiful, strange women, okay? When I tell you, Tana, you want to talk about women in STEM, there were timelines, there were Venn diagrams, we were comparing notes. For a man who doesn't have time, this man had the most time. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, because I'm not kidding. For all of this time, I would see his billboard on Sunset and be like, I was literally his biggest supporter, and I've been waving a Matt Rife apologist flag for all this time, thinking oh, he was so good to me, what the and he never.
Start of the year. A TikTok tag prompted her to connect with another girl who shared her experience. They discovered that shortly after their interactions, Matt acquired a girlfriend, suggesting overlapping relationships. In response, they created a group chat to piece together a timeline of Matt's involvement with each of them, leaving Brooke caught up in the unfolding revelations.
Immediate reaction, just because I'm me and I'm stupid, I start gaslighting myself. I'm literally like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe it wasn't as serious as I thought it was. Maybe I thought it was this huge serious thing and he didn't. Took only a couple scrolls, Tana, for me to get back to where he's telling me just, I don't want you seeing, I don't want you to even look at another guy. I don't want anybody else touching you. I don't want you, he didn't want me hanging out with my guy friends. It was so specific in that he was like, you're the only girl I want. We're talking about when we're going to move to DC and run away.
The situation takes an even more shocking turn when Brooke decided to confront Matt about the revelations. To her disbelief, when she attempted to address the issue with him, she discovered that he had blocked her number.
Is it that I'm literally currently getting dragged for defending you while also in a group chat with 7 other girlfriends you had? What? And he blocked my number.
I was just going to say, tell me the message is green and I'm blowing this house up.
He blocked my number. As in, my number was blocked last week when I was waving a Matt Rife is in so nice and respectful flag. I publicly was defending him after he had already blocked my number. How embarrassing. And what the are you blocking my?
This added a surprising and hurtful layer to the already distressing situation. It highlighted a lack of willingness on Matt's part to engage in a conversation or address the concerns raised by Brooke. Blocking her number suggested an attempt to avoid accountability and further deepened the sense of betrayal in this complex and troubling scenario. In my view, Matt took a drastic step by blocking everyone he was in contact with when he got a girlfriend, potentially to avoid complications. Blocking became his method of communication, avoiding direct discussions about his relationship status, leaving the possibility of unblocking in the future. This raises questions about his sincerity. Tana and Brooke discuss the repercussions of Matt's appearance on the Stiff Socks podcast, where he disparaged women's private parts and expressed preferences for specific physical attributes.
Rife went on the Stiff Socks podcast with our baby Trevor Wallace.
And I just want to say this is when I knew.
I was still actively seeing him at the time. In fact, we'd gone to dinner the night before. He was telling me all about how he was going on a podcast. I don't know if you guys recall. That was like the most. He's since had it wiped from the internet. I wish I could wipe it from my memory. First offense was Trevor asking what his type was. His answer was blondes with fake. Okay. He goes on to say that he is disgusted by outie vagina. Girls who have outie vagina because it looks like God left the tag on them. Now, I'm going to give you guys the canceled exclusive here, but I, Brooke Schofield, have an outie vagina. Imagine me sitting there, my jaw on the floor. You guys thought that was disgusting. The public was like, oh my God, how horrible. Imagine how I felt. He literally just went on a podcast and was like, yeah, I'm repulsed by this.
The podcast faced severe backlash and was deleted. Adding complexity, Brooke reveals that during the recording, she and Matt were romantically involved, exposing a troubling inconsistency in his behavior and words. It's genuinely perplexing how Matt could make such derogatory comments, especially knowing that Brooke would likely be watching. This behavior serves as clear evidence of a lack of respect for women. It's disheartening to witness someone express such views, and understandably, Matt is facing even more backlash now that these actions have come to light. Brooke, being supported by a substantial number of people, has contributed to the amplification of the criticism. People are pointing out Matt's hypocrisy, notably referencing his appearance on their canceled podcast in June. During that episode, he behaved as if Brooke was a complete stranger, which both Brooke and Tana found surprising and even shocking.
You guys who bullied me for my behavior on the Matt Rife episode, I had not seen him since he told me he would be at my house in an hour, babe. Okay? That was my first time ever coming face to face with him after, like, he literally was just like, okay, good night, babe, see you in a sec. Like, of course I was, like, I didn't know he was going to come in and act like he didn't know me from Adam. I thought it was going to be like, oh, like, yeah, we know each other. Like, it was just such a
I was so
strange
livid
energy.
after that episode. I remember he left and I was shaking.
I was like nervous. I just felt weird because I was like, why are you pretending you don't know? It was just the weirdest like feeling. And I was like, wait, what? Like,
The discrepancy between his public demeanor and private actions adds another layer of deceit to an already troubling situation. Matt is currently in a relationship, and there's speculation that his girlfriend might have reacted to the recent revelations. Some believe she hinted at her feelings by posting a photo of a heavily filled wine glass on her Instagram story. This reaction suggests that she might be dealing with the fallout from the information that has surfaced about Matt. Lastly, Brooke disclosed that Matt would mock her job as an influencer, expressing his dislike for social media. This irony is glaring, considering that Matt himself gained fame through social media. The fact that he would ridicule Brooke for her work while being part of the same.
what? He made me feel so stupid for my social media job, as if it was like the most unserious job.
Onliness Fury adds another layer of contradiction and raises questions about his behavior and attitudes. It's quite perplexing that Matt, despite gaining fame through social media, seems to look down on the very platform that catapulted him into stardom. While he may have started elsewhere, he's now recognized for his presence on TikTok and Instagram. The contradiction lies in his apparent disdain for social media, even mocking Brooke for her role as an influencer. This attitude is disheartening, considering that it's the same social media environment that has built his career. Rejecting what brought him success could hinder his progress, and his discomfort with having a predominantly female audience may have consequences. It's essential for Matt to recognize that disrespecting women has its repercussions. The recent revelations about him, as discussed by Brooke and Tana, shed light on these contradictions and attitudes. It's a situation that warrants reflection, not only for Matt but also for the broader conversation about respect and accountability.